What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I am your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
Today we're talking body recomp. We haven't brought this up in a while, but essentially what a body recomp is when you lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, maximizing your body composition, so getting both of these incredible things. Kyle's going to take this one away.
Yeah, so this is something that unfortunately a lot of people just think like when you're going to put on muscle, when you're going to put on size, you have to be in a massive surplus. You've got to just gain a lot of fat. And I used to believe this too. And of course, like that will be a little bit more optimal if you are looking to just get absolutely jacked and, just lift these crazy numbers. Like you'll be able to do it quicker, right? And when people think dieting, losing body fat, they think that it needs to be this crazy big thing. Their calories are super low, no energy, all this other stuff. But it has been proven over and over again that you can definitely achieve both things at once. And we've actually helped hundreds of people, actually thousands in this situation based on a number of criteria, a number of parameters, I guess you could say. And we just wanted to share that with you today. But essentially, if you are someone who's been training for 20 years, you've been doing everything perfect, it's going to be challenging for you. I'm not going to I'm not going to overlook that. And I just wanted to share though, that there are a number of people that can still do this incredible thing. And I'm going to list off that who this is typically for when it comes to doing a body recomp. So it's most suitable for someone who's a new lifter. I know there's a lot of people out there who just started lifting, who want to make amazing changes. They just got into the gym. New lifters are awesome. If someone's obese or overweight and they're just looking to kind of do both things at once, it's definitely a lot easier as well, and that's something to consider. Someone who's detrained, so someone who got super jacked, took a month off, or took a while off, right? Not just a month, but took a time off because of different things happening in their life, injuries, whatever it is. That's another great category that can do this incredible thing. And then also even just like the lazy lifter. So I'm thinking someone who just maybe didn't have the proper training program, who's always been on their phone when they've been working out. They've never actually pushed themselves, right? Like this is definitely something that you can do. And also anyone who takes anabolic steroids, which I mean, it's a given, you're going to be able to do some incredible things with that. And I definitely don't recommend. But yeah, moral of the story is the biggest thing and the most important thing to focus on is going to be training. So you really want to make sure you're focused on progressive overload. You're doing the right movements, like you're actually doing movements with purpose. There's intention. You got good mind-muscle connection. Typically speaking, 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week is a good place to aim. But once again, when it comes down to it, if you look at a car, let's say the car, the engine's going to be lifting and the fuel is going to be nutrition. Like these things, like obviously the car will work better with solid nutrition, with, better nutrition. Just it's kind of like good fuel. It's going to help it run better. But at the same time, without the actual engine, so lifting, you're not going to be able to just see the results. Like so many people unfortunately just focus on one thing or another. They go hand in hand for sure, but lifting is going to be one of the greatest things. It's going to be your engine within your body that helps you gain that muscle, that helps you lose that fat. Resistance training is going to be one of the greatest things. If you just focus on cardio, this isn't going to work as well. If you just focus on nutrition, so strength training will be number one, and it's so important.
To add on here, the importance of training is it actually changes your shape of your body. It adds a muscle, it changes the composition, it gives you strength and ability to actually see that change. Cardio, you're just going to be burning a lot of calories. Yes, you have muscles working, but not for hypertrophy. You have them working for purpose, which is to do cardio and to move better and to move well, and your body will get more optimal at that. Just the same with lifting, your body will adapt and get better to lifting heavy, looking strong, seeing composition, having full, nice, good looking muscle. And that's why training is such an important part of this process. And as Kyle mentioned, we're capable of a lot more than we think. And I love how he mentioned who body recomps are for, because as he said, most people do fall into these categories. There's a good chance that a lot of us aren't training as hard as we could be. We're not focused. We haven't actually pushed to our potential. We haven't given ourselves a chance to really experience that change. And we've done what's comfortable. And a great way to start is by leveling up your training routine. When we get new clients in, we shock them a bit. We give them just enough challenge to help them progress, but not too much that it's unrealistic, so that they can realize what they're capable of. And that gives us a position to continue to grow and improve upon that position. And I mentioned before, there's thoughts of MRV and MED. So MED is minimal effective dose, and that's how can I do the bare minimum to put on as much muscle, see as much change as possible. People have went away from that, and if you think of MRV, which is the maximum amount of recoverable volume, you would be surprised how much it is. There's people out there doing like 30 sets of volume of workout, recovering fine, and obviously that takes more discipline and focus. And once again, not all volume is created equal, so I love the set recommendations. I do use them generally myself, but keep in mind 5 sets of a heavy deadlift are going to be incredibly different than 10 sets of a curl. So you do want to be aware that you're putting your energy and your focus into training hard and training intelligently. And if you're really stuck on how to make a great routine, we have an incredible podcast episode on this. I will link that in the show notes down below. And also, we would love to work one-on-one and create a program specifically for you to help you realize your full potential. But case in point, there's nothing wrong with challenging that notion a little bit, pushing yourself to do a little bit more, see how you do. The body does take a second to adapt. You might feel like you're not recovering as well, but oftentimes your body will settle in within 2 to 4 weeks. So it's worth the challenge, especially if you want to take it to that next level and you want to achieve a body recomp. Up that volume, push yourself a little harder, and reap the rewards. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into number 2, which is to really focus your calories at being at maintenance or just under maintenance. You don't want to be too low here, or you're going to have a hard time putting on new muscle and it's going to be more of just a hardcore cut. And there's nothing wrong with this, but if you want to have a body recomp, you can actually benefit by being at maintenance, training harder, increasing movement, eating really well, eating protein, and seeing that new muscle come on as fat comes off. And that's where you can get the best of both worlds, especially when you are in these categories. You can get a lot of benefit / newbie gains. And you say, I'm not a noob, I've been going to the gym for 2 years. But like Kyle said, if you've been going to the gym, you've been on your phone, you haven't been focused, you haven't actively been challenging yourself to be lifting at the right parameters. When you're lifting, if you're thinking at a 1 to 10 scale, you should be like at an 8 on pretty much every single set. There should be really no reason to be below that. And for most people, they'd be at a 6 or a 5. And that's where you can actually challenge yourself and do so much more. And then the calories paired with that are going to go such a long way. So it's important you're not overeating. You're really learning to regulate and be at a consistent amount of calories, and then you're being hyper aware of protein. Here's where you can actually give yourself a little bit more protein to assist with that new heavy load of volume, to actually make sure you are putting on more muscle, you're feeling more satisfaction within your food, and you're in the best position to achieve this body recomp.
That was awesome and very well said. And, one thing I want to also mention, like for the lazy lifter, the person who's kind of been in and out in the gym here and there, is that if you also haven't followed a structured routine for a certain amount of time, you can absolutely fall into this category. You may be someone who's pushed yourself, but you haven't really focused on progressive overload. You haven't really just actually followed a structured, dedicated routine, and you've kind of just hopped around and done a bunch of stuff. Maybe you haven't focused as much on legs. Maybe you haven't done as many compounds. Like I would say a lot of people do fall into this category. So I just want to share that. But number 3 is just focusing on a primary goal, like the main thing that you would like to achieve, right? It is, once again, and this is what I love, is that it has been disproven over and over again. So many people used to think it's not possible, but numerous studies have shown it is. Once again, the results also speak for itself, but deciding which one would be more of your primary. And it's just good to know at the top of your head, just which one you would like to focus on a little bit more. If you do happen to be on the leaner side, it is important to notice that you can keep track of your calories and eat in slightly the higher range. And if you're someone who's, let's say, higher body fat, and your main focus is losing body fat, but you still want to maintain / gain a little bit of muscle, you can eat in the lower calorie parameters. Once again, this will fluctuate. This will be different based on each person, your past experience, even just what your typical maintenance is. Like I can't give specific numbers. That's obviously what we do with coaching based off all the criteria given, but keep in mind which one it is that is the main priority. Once again, I don't want to think like so many people try to do 2 things at once perfectly well. And I think it is important to have that main goal on the top of your head, but also know that you can achieve 2 things at the same time, if that makes sense, because that will dictate whether you go lower calories, higher calories, and all that other stuff that takes place, higher cardio, lower cardio, and other things as well.
And adding on, there's no need to be overwhelmed by this. We have helped dozens, hundreds of people through this process of achieving a body recomp. If you look at our Instagram or even on the screen here, you can see some incredible examples of this. We would love to help you through this process. All you need to do is go ahead and DM us on Instagram saying body recomp, and we will take care of you. There's a lot that goes into this. Take the guesswork out of the process, see faster, better, more efficient results so you can reach your full potential, so you can focus on other things that require more of your attention. We've spent over 10 years becoming the best coaches we can, building the best systems we can to work one-on-one with amazing people like you, and this is your chance to do that. So to take advantage, DM us on Instagram saying body recomp, and we will work you through this process and get you the incredible incredible results you want. And you will be amazed because we can help you lose up to 5 times more fat and gain 5 times more muscle than you would on your own. So once again, Body Recomp to us on Instagram at ColossusFit, ColossusFit. Now into number 4, which is to not neglect the details. So one of the biggest detail that gets neglected is I can do all these things, no problem. You start doing everything great, do it for a week, 2 weeks, and the third week, I want to leave the gym a little early. I'm just going to do 30 minutes, or I don't need to hit my calories on the weekend, no big deal. Being consistent and continuing to show up and do these things is how you do it. I always like to say a body recomp in particular is so tough because a cut, you feel like you're really locked in. You can see that scale going down, things are coming. Body recomp takes patience, consistency, and discipline. You need to be doing these things really effectively. You need to be training really hard. You need to be on top of your nutrition. And you may not see that change as immediately, but the effect of it at the end is absolutely incredible. And you'll notice with month to month, especially with our clients, within 30 days, the transformations are insane. They're so visual, but it's so easy to get caught up in it and get de-inspired, I guess you could say, and say, I'm just going to start cutting corners. And you'll notice that by cutting corners, this doesn't work. You need to be all in. You need to treat it as seriously as you would a bulk or a cut. You need to be really locked in and focused. You need to be aware of your rest and recovery. You got to manage stress. You need to be on top of these external factors and make sure you're in a prime position to be in the gym, training hard, eating the best foods you can, getting in that protein, and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, and just like working off of that, a lot of people overlook sleep as well. And I know we talk about it, but it was pretty crazy, especially when I came across this study here. It was done in 2018, and they had 2 test groups. There was 36 people. On one side, they had normal sleep, just regular sleep habits, everything like that. And the group actually lost 83% fat. And then obviously the rest of it was just muscle, but that's a pretty good number, pretty good ratio there. The other group actually slept an hour per day less, and they lost 85% lean mass, right? So one group lost mainly fat, the other group lost mainly lean mass, and the difference was just the sleep. Now keep in mind, these people weren't strength training. That would make a little bit of a difference, but it was equal all around. Just the main factor was sleep, and it's just so easy to overlook it. Be like, I'm training super hard, my nutrition's good, whatever, just so I'll catch up, I'll sleep when I'm dead, just kind of focus on that and just not really care about it. And just a lot of people overlook these smaller things and just not, well, I guess it seems smaller to them, but to me, it's like a massive difference, the recovery, everything that Josh just mentioned as well. And I just wanted to share that with you today. But number 5 is honestly just getting someone that's unemotionally attached and who's actually done it for a lot of people to help you out. And I really like what Josh was saying there, because I've experienced this as well. Like, it is a very finicky process when you're doing it yourself, because there's going to be days the scale is going to fluctuate. There's going to be a lot of times you doubt yourself. Like, when you are also kind of just unaware of the decisions you're making with your calories, your training, and not sure, do I actually do cardio or should I not do any cardio? It is very challenging. And we get a lot of people reach out saying they want to do both things at the same time, but don't know how to do it. And my biggest thing is just when you're unemotionally attached, when we can take a look at the cold hard data, make these changes, we're not actually physically just in it as well. Like, when you're emotionally attached, you make these crazy decisions. You see, the scale went up 1 pound this week, I'm just going to decrease my calories like crazy. And you'll be very wishy-washy. You'll go goal hopping a lot. So you're like, okay, I want to focus on gaining muscle. You know what? I'm going to focus on losing fat. Like, the emotions are crazy. I've been there, and I know a lot of people are in that very similar situation. So once again, we've helped thousands of people. We have the data, we have everything else in place, and we want to help you out. So the biggest thing is just getting someone to take care of you. I'd love for you to be part of our test group. Just send us a message with the keyword body recomp, and you won't have to worry about any of this. You just fill everything in, you do the work, and we'll, just give you all the data and get you taken care of and get you some incredible results.
So there you have it, our 5 tips to achieving a body recomp. This is an absolutely amazing process, and it's great to see it work. Once again, you can see some of the incredible transformations we have on our Instagram at ColossusFit, so be sure to check those out. But we want to thank every single one of you for tuning in today. Take this information, use it. Even if your goal isn't a body recomp, there's a lot you can pull from this, and there may be a stage in your life where maybe you get out of the gym for a few weeks or a few months and you want to get back into it. This is definitely a great episode to bookmark and take advantage of the future. But we will see you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out.